Sandra here from Create in Spain, and today I have 3 concept cards for you. So these are cards where I'm going to show you the basic files and pretty much leave it up to you as to how to actually decorate them. So the first one I have is this one. Now I've cut it all in one piece, but in the file I've made it into 3 pieces so that you can, if you want, simply have them cut in different cards. And what I'm going to do with this is to put it upside down, and I'm going to stick on some panel pieces. So this is an interlocking card, and oops, got my hair there. It goes together very simply, nothing difficult about this at all, but it is quite effective. And sometimes when you want a card for the men in your life, a different type of fold is quite a handy thing to have, because it doesn't take quite as much effort then to make it look special. Obviously this one in pink is not exactly geared towards guys, although there are some men that like pink. But I'm using up pieces of card, pattern card in particular, that I have lying around. And this is one of the things that I had, so I decided I'd use it. Now, I quite like this one because of its simplicity. A little bit of glue on there. And just center it up as well you can. And there we are. So obviously you can put a sentiment on this, you could put various cutouts on it, you know, if you had a particular theme, be it anything from ballerinas to football, you could go for it. So when this one closes up, it simply interlocks like that, and that forms the base of your card. I think it's quite an attractive one to do with a pattern paper, but as I said, it's up to you about the theme. This is just the base design. The next one I have is, again, interlocking, as all my cards are today, but this is rather an unusual shape. With this one, it's actually going to interlock just by having that little tab in the center. With this one, you'll notice that the pieces that you're going to put on are slightly different. They're not the same shape, so you need to make sure you get the right one on the correct side. Pretty obvious which one's for which, but just make sure you do cut out one of each and don't cut out 2 the same. Right, so here we go. Now this one has got an offset on it as well, and just center it up. That's about it. There we are. And then to close, it's simply done like that. And you have a card that you can decorate in whatever way that you like. It's just a little bit different, a little interesting. Alright, the other one that I'm doing, the last one, I'm actually doing in sections. And I have my sections here. So I have put score lines here so that you can fold this back, and then it will wrap around the back of the card. So nice and simple to do, nothing difficult. Now the reason why I've done this one in pieces as opposed to all one piece is simply to demonstrate that sometimes you can get away with using a smaller piece of card. If you're trying to use up leftovers, these pieces are relatively small. So that's why I've put them in the file as separate entities rather than making it all one piece, which means you have to have a big piece of card to cut it. So So this time I'm going to put my glue on here. Don't overdo the glue. And line it up top to bottom is pretty easy. And then make sure that it is folded over in the closed position. And you do the same with the opposite side. So my completed cards look like this. This one I have put some very faint sparkly veining on and just done some sparkly dots on the opposite side. And that is such a quick card to make, and I think that looks really quite nice. This one, I found this foam butterfly which I had made, and I found it in my stash, so I added a few little diamante bits on there and just put it so that it's overlapping the edge. So this can still close quite happily, but you have the butterfly there on the corner. Now admittedly, if I'd realised I was going to put the butterfly on, I would have not put this particular design paper on, because this is a little bit too busy. The butterfly doesn't stand out as much. But if I'd have chosen a plain colour, that would have looked really, really nice. And the first one that I did, I actually like, because it's just slightly different. It almost looks like road signs with the happy birthday. All I did there was created a couple of black tabs, and they are put onto the top and the bottom respectively of the closure. So there we go, that's what those are like. And I did those on my silver bullet, and I used a white pen on black card. I did think about doing it in pink, but it didn't seem to stand out in quite the same way, so that's why I chose that colour. And then of course you can just slot it together, and because this card is actually made out of all one piece, it will actually stay in that kind of triangular formation, which is quite nice. It adds some dimension. Not, I hasten to add, an effect I went for in the first place, but it does it, and who am I to knock that? So I'm happy with all three of those, and they are very, very simple to make. And they were made out of bits of card that I already had lying around. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a win-win situation. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.